Hey, Chris here from The Chris Stefanik Show, where we talk about how to live out God's plan for you each and every day in your everyday life in a way that makes you more alive and more joyful. Check it out. You said that people feel elongated, so there's a sense of finitude, but they feel somewhat taller. So.
Yeah, like extended, like I feel extended in my body right now.
Yeah.
And because they can feel extended, they feel like they have limbs, even though, it's kind of like not the same physical limbs, because your limbs will go right through the wall, right? Because
Wow.
you're not really subject to, physical processes and laws and structures like you were before. So the main thing, though, is it does give you that sense of being who you were, and visually, like when you meet deceased relatives, I only gave the first part of the near-death experiences.
Yeah.
That's around here on this earth, but about 35% of patients who are having this near-death experience, they go to another world, and they experience oftentimes. Well, in 85% of cases, they will experience deceased relatives or friends who come and tell them, "Oh, well, it's not your time" or something.
Oh, wow!
And also they will, meet God, who they call a very loving white light, or the loving white light is also called Jesus Christ a lot.
Really?
And how they know that, they say they just know it, and they don't, the white light's not talking to them in a normal voice like you and I are exchanging data, but rather,
Wow.
it's more of a kind of an intellectual awareness of what somebody is saying. But also, they do have that more or less heavenly or beautiful experience. 15% are not very good experiences. Those would be called dark experiences, and that 15% can be, experiences of severe emptiness and loneliness, alienation and pain, and among some of them there is a real experience of evil and hatred as well.
Wow.
So there is a diversity of experiences, but the majority...
85% are coming back feeling pretty good about life.
Yeah, and they also, those people lose their death anxiety completely for the rest of their lives.
Wow.
So in other words, if you put kind of like a modified polygraph on them to measure their nervous, the sympathetic nervous system reaction to a particular a stimulus, so you could put maybe a skull and crossbones or a shark,
and they're feeling good.
They have no reaction. Whereas a normal person who didn't have an NDE, a pleasant NDE, would say, "Whoa!" They wouldn't say anything, but your sympathetic nervous system would just register that right off the charts that you didn't like that. Right? It's a death anxiety. The interesting thing about death anxiety is it is subconscious, so you can't control it. Even as a very strong religious believer like you and I are, consciously, it's not going to bother us. But still, you look at that shark image, or you look at the skull and crossbones or something, you're going to have a death anxiety.
It's a human survival mechanism.
Exactly.
Though this conversation decreases my death anxiety as we're sitting down. It's funny because it's really a comforting grace from God, because obviously we believe in heaven, but it's really like no, Chris. That sometimes the beliefs occupy this part of my brain that's more story than it is history, or you know what I mean, like more more imagination, even though I believe that thing, and this kind of helps move it to no. This is as real as this table, which I know by faith, but like no, you really help. You're helping me know it.
Evidence, and that University of Virginia medical school has cataloged a lot of encounters with deceased relatives, and in about 20% of the cases, the person who was having the near-death experience did not know the relative. So many of those were children, right? And the children, meet this nice lady, or who are you? Well, I'm your aunt so-and-so. Oh, I didn't know I had an aunt. Well, I died before you were born. Oh, that's great to meet you. Well, now I just have to tell you that you tell your mother that you saw me and that everything is okay. And you tell her that you know the secret name of our doll, which was, I don't know, Megabyte or something. I don't. So the little child comes back and says, Mom, I met Aunt so-and-so, and she said she died, and you guys had a secret name for your doll, and it's this.
Wow.
And the mother, of course, and having not told that child any of that, is jaw dropped. Well, the Kellys and the Graysons at the University of Virginia actually have cataloged a large number of these things. And if you didn't believe that there's some encounter going on over on the beautiful side of the equation, there really is a considerable amount of evidence that people have encountered strangers. I mean, one kid actually, his name was Colton Burpo, who, in that heaven is for real anecdote. But, this is very typical, is where, he'll say, well, I ran into Granddaddy, and of course, they go, oh, did he look like that? And they show him a nice picture of Granddaddy when he was about 70 or 80. Yeah. And he goes, no, that's not him. Then they show him, well, here's Granddaddy in World War II or something. Young man with the that's him.
Wow. Wow.
And so it's like, and then of course the images of Jesus, where they fix upon. I forget the little girl's name now, but they fix upon that particular. She had a very. She was kind of a visionary girl, and she kind of had some help from a artist, and she was a very good artist herself to draw, depicted a picture of Jesus that she met in a quasi-near-death experience. That's the one that the kids identify. Wow. They'll go through 15 pictures of Jesus, Sacred Heart pictures, illustrations.
I want to see this picture.
Yeah.
Is this on NigerCenter.com?
Yeah, we don't have it, but you can get it. Just go to Google and just put a girl who drew a picture of Jesus from NDE.
Wow.
And that's the one that gets identified.
Man, wasn't that awesome? Be sure to smash the subscribe button. Hit, smash, demolish the subscribe button, however you want to say it, and share it with everybody you know. I get so much out of these conversations. I know you always will too. So come join me in this journey to life to the full, and we'll see you in the next video.